months, I feel so bad. Really does. It's so disruptive. It's almost like I can't believe I used to live like that. Today's conversation is about the nervous system and the holidays, why this season can feel like such an emotional roller coaster. And it matters because the stress, grief, or overwhelm you feel isn't just in your head, it's in your brain's old wiring and it's coming alive at a brain-body subconscious level.
Welcome to Trauma Rewired, the podcast that teaches you about your nervous system, how trauma lives in the body, and what you can do to heal. I'm your co-host, Elisabeth Kristof, founder of brainbase.com, an online community where we use applied neurology and somatics for behavior change, personal growth, and resilience. And I'm also the founder of the Neurosomatic Intelligence Coaching Certification.
And I'm your co-host, Jennifer Wallace. I'm a neurosomatic psychedelic preparation and integration guide, and I bring your nervous system into your peak somatic experiences so that you're preparing for the peak, not just going for this big experience, and then you can embody the medicine and the wisdom and then carry that on into lasting transformational change. We can all practice honoring the energy of winter by building in rituals of rest, journaling by candlelight, going for quiet walks, or simply just slowing down the pace of the day. And these small practices not only support our nervous system now, but they help us to rewrite the neurotags of the holidays into something more restorative. Nervous system regulation isn't linear, it's cyclical. Nervous systems thrive when we align with the cycles instead of resisting them.
I think circadian rhythm is another important cycle to remember here, because our circadian rhythms, that's the 24-hour cycle that regulates our sleep, our energy, our hormone release, and even impacts our immune function. And so that is another layer to this. As you mentioned, Jen, in the winter months, there's less natural light. Our biology is wired to produce more melatonin, to feel sleepier, to conserve energy. But again, we are overriding that by keeping the same fast pace year-round, staying up late. There's the parties, there's all of the artificial light, there's pushing through fatigue. And we know that research shows as we disrupt our circadian rhythm, that is linked to stress-related illness. It is much harder to modulate and regulate the nervous system when we're in that state of depletion. There's reduced resilience. So it's also about giving ourselves permission to rest more in the winter for nervous system health and aligning our body with menstrual cycles, seasonal cycles, circadian rhythm, all of the things that we want to think about to be those natural boundaries that we can start to put into place.
Since I put into place circadian rhythm boundaries, for a while now, it's something that I try to go to bed at particular times and rise at particular times and matching that energy of the circadian. And when I go off of that, I do notice those mood disruptions. I feel so bad. It really does. It's so disruptive. It's almost like I can't believe I used to live like that.
Yeah, it is. It's really taxing. It really lifts the stress load. And we talked about this a lot in our sleep episode, maybe even in metabolic health, but trying to get natural light in the morning. And then in the evenings, one of the things that we always do is we turn off all the overheads and there's just a few dimmer, warm light lamps, you know?
Yeah.
Being mindful of screen time.
My blue blockers have served me
amber-colored blue
much.
blockers.
And even, like you said, just changing some of the lighting and those small steps make such a huge difference because naturally, cyclically, our bodies are naturally set to switch into winter mode. So by that slowing down, storing energy, going to bed earlier, while the holidays are pushing us into the exact opposite place. It's still summer, right? Bright lights, late nights, packed calendars, constant stimulation. And that mismatch is really tough on the nervous system because instead of following the cues for rest that circadian rhythm and seasons are giving us, we override them. And so it's no wonder so many people feel exhausted, irritable, maybe even a little bit easier triggered during this time of year because the body is asking us for restoration and it's the season of demanding acceleration.
And I think as we're talking about the holidays in this season that's about emotional processing and post-traumatic growth, it is important to think about how some of these reframes can be conducive to our post-traumatic growth. Because I think when most people hear post-traumatic growth, they imagine this big dramatic transformation. huge life changes, big expansion, maybe even being able to go out and do more or have a completely different holiday experience. But the science of trauma recovery shows us that growth isn't just about doing more, that true neuroplastic change also comes because we have the ability to rest, that having the ability to rest is part of post-traumatic growth.
Yeah.
And real integration and creating these new boundaries. So every time you're starting to recognize an emotional flashback in real time, or allowing yourself to leave a party without shame, or taking care of yourself in some little way, you are rewiring your brain's predictive maps. And studies on memory reconsolidation and neuroplasticity show that when we interrupt old patterns with new experiences, we are building fresh neural connections that change how our brain is predicting safety. And that's growth in a sustainable way, even if it looks small from the outside. Make sure to subscribe to this episode on our audio platforms, or hit the little bell on YouTube to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss an episode, because we have lots of exciting conversations coming up, breaking down the science and the trauma of emotional health and nervous system resilience.